Thank you, John. And so, for those of you that were here before, you'll know. But just a brief introduction: Black Country Touring is an urban touring scheme. We cover the sort of adjacent but northwest of Birmingham area, which covers the boroughs of Dudley, Sandwell, Walsall, and Wolverhampton. So we work with a range of communities, facilitating them to programme work for their own local audiences, and some of those ways of working were highlighted in the previous session. In addition to that, we also do produce our own work. Just to recap, this session is going to be about the experience of a webcast that we've done of a site-specific show from a kitchen. And we did it twice, last year and this year, and both experiences were quite different. So, as well as programming work with promoters, we also produce our own shows. And our shows are often born out of the community, using people's stories, where people are informing the work that's being created, or they're actually working as researchers on the work that's produced. As well as that, we look at new ways of engaging with audiences, often site-specifically. Each project tends to be a new venture from the previous one. So Berna, which means Sisters, is a collaboration with Kylie Theatre Company and the Birmingham Rep, written by a Punjabi writer called Sonia Likari. And it's set the day before a wedding, and all of the action happens in a kitchen. So we decided to set it in a real kitchen. And what that meant was, for us, during the week, we used to rent a house where the performances took place in a rented kitchen. So this is where your regular paying theatre audience would go, booking through a traditional box office system. And at the weekends, we used to tour into people's homes. And this is where you would have a homeowner acting as the host, and then they would invite their friends, family, and neighbours. So on average, it could manage an audience of about 22, so it's quite intimate, quite domestic. And as the audience turn up at the house, they're greeted by the actors who are in character, and from then on they become the guests. And they engage in a bit of preamble in the lounge, which involves some eating, a bit of singing and dancing, getting people into the sort of pre-wedding mood, which is the context of the play. So back in 2009, there was the Digital Content Development Programme, which was an opportunity for arts organisations to look at using digital technology to extend reach. And for us, this meant we conceived the idea of the prospect of doing a webcast, which again for us is very exciting because our work is on the micro scale with intimate product, with intimate audiences. So the idea of opening up this to the wider world, opening up Black Country stories to the wider world is something we were very excited about. And the general concept of it was that we made it even harder for ourselves. Instead of doing it from the rented house, which the actors were used to, we did it from the private home in an area called Goldthorne Park in Wolverhampton, and beamed out across the internet. So the idea was going from local to the global. We found a home in Wolverhampton, and it didn't have an internet connection, so we went about exploring getting the best connection. And the home was a Virgin broadband user. And at the time, Virgin used they had various products going from large, described as large, extra large, and extra extra large. And when it came to the point of ordering, it was, as the account holder, it was left to the homeowner, who was given clear instructions to order the extra extra large. The homeowner asked for the largest, and in fact we ended up with the smallest connection. But and it was too late to rectify as well between the point of that installation and when engineers were free and the scheduled date of the webcast. But it wasn't detrimental to the whole thing. So for us, we also wanted the liveness of the event, because there was talk about, well, wouldn't it just make sense to record something, edit it, and put it up? But we are about the live, and that's what we were interested in exploring, the idea of event. So we did various tests with the company we were working with, Trilby Multimedia. We created a holding page for where the player for a webcast would sit. And we also started an online engagement campaign, which was done in-house. And that included things like we set up various discussion groups, trying to pose questions associated with some of the themes in the play, as well as what we can see here is a weddings gallery encouraging people to send in their wedding day photos, because weddings are a big theme in the play. And we tried new things, and some only went so far, and then we tried something else. But the banner party pack that we produced was the idea. We anticipated that people would be watching in 2s and 3s. Some people would. And the idea of giving people an idea to hold on to something, maybe putting some recipe ideas together, what kind of food to buy, maybe listen to some Punjabi folk music, and henna painting, as you can see there. And there you can see some ladies having their dinner party. It was quite a big kitchen, the house we did the webcast from. I think we squeezed in about 25 into this house. So how did it go? Well, we managed an uninterrupted webcast, and we reached an audience of about 300. Which was an additional 60% on the audience we were getting in the homes. And most of our users were based in the UK, as well as Spain, Canada, the USA, and then Australia. We're talking a handful in those places. Most were from the UK, but it was interesting how about 5 or 6 countries had watched this. And for us, our unexpected highlight was the chat. Again, we were naive in this way, not really Twitter users. But the chat that we had arranged really took off, where we had a character with the name of Disho Auntie, who was a moderator and interacting with people before, during and after the performance. And it was interesting how you had people in the northeast, I think, and then someone in the West Country who knew each other. It sort of became a virtual foyer. I think one was a lecturer and one was a former student. Can we play? So this is the webcast you're going to see an extract of.